Hey guys, Thunderstruck MTB here. Boy, in a good mood today, and we'll get into that in a minute. Before we do, this is the first video that I've done since I released my how-to in real time to put tubeless tires on a bike, and boy did that video tank. Yeah, it was terrible according to my analytics on my channel. I mean, not that my channel views or video views are very high anyway, but I do have my standards. So anyway, message received. I will stay in my lane. I mean, it's like going to a Los Angeles Dodgers game, right? You get down there and sit in the seats, and you got your beer and you got your nachos, and you look out on the field, and the Dodgers aren't warming up. Instead, it's a freaking breakdance competition, and it's a freaking ray gun down there leading it off. So I get it. Here we go. I will do what I do, and what do I do? This is what I do. So guys, today is going to be my review on my 2024 Reserve 30 SL carbon wheel set. I've had this particular upgrade brainworm digging in my brain for about a year now. After my failed DT Swiss XMC 1501 carbon wheel set review, video will pop up at the end of this on that, what I thought about those wheels. And so finally came up, Mike'sBikes.com had a pre-Labor Day sale here in the States, 30% off. I thought, you know what, let's go with it. So I'm gonna tell you about the specs of these wheels. Get that out of the way first. I've seen like 4 different reviews on the internet, and the only one that had any close to being accurate weights was bikeperfect.com, and he was pretty close. The rest of them, like Vital and Blister and Single Track World, I mean, I literally don't know what they were weighing, but it wasn't these wheel sets. So anyway, I'll have all those specs, and we'll get after that, I guess, right now. So specs of this wheel set. So again, 2024 Reserve 30 SL carbon wheel set. This is 29 front and rear. This is the DT Swiss 350 hub option front and rear. It is 6-bolt brake hub, J-bend spokes. I put torque caps on the front. It comes standard with stock with standard, and I put a 54 tooth ratchet in the back. Comes stock, of course, with the DT Swiss 350 36 tooth ratchet. The spokes and nipples. Reserve makes this way harder to find. And it's on their website, but I guess I'm just not a very good Easter egg hunter. So I'll put the link in the description where I found this. But the spokes and nipples. Spokes and nipples are Sapim? I'm going to say Sapim. Makes me sound hotty-totty and educated. So there's Sapim D-Light spokes, J-bend spokes. And those are a double butted spokes. They're 2 millimeters on either end and a 1.65 in the middle. So that kind of goes right up against DT Swiss's competition race spokes. A little thinner there in the middle for some compliance. You're going to hear that word a crap ton here today. So the nipples are Sapim Secure Lock alloy nipples. Okay, and those are there. And again, I'll put a link to this in the description. These wheels have asymmetrical. They're offset by a few millimeters on either side, which I like in theory. And I like the way they did it here. The rim itself is perfectly straight across, so the valve stem sits perfectly straight, unlike the race face arc offset where it sets all wonky unless you use this weird kind of, I don't know, wedge washer thingy bobber. They did it right here. Spoke holes are kind of reinforced here with extra carbon, and again, it's flat across there, and so the spoke, the valve sits nice and straight. So these came with the Reserve tubeless valves. What are those called? The Fillmore valves, which for me do nothing but create more problems than they're worth. And if anyone would have watched my damn video on installing a tire, you'll see why I didn't use them. These are just good old-fashioned DT Swiss alloy valves, good old-fashioned ones, and went with that route. So specs, here we go. Weights, I know you guys are do that. The front weight, both of these weights are spec'd out, ready to install the tire, the rotors, and the cassette. So in other words, they have tape on them, valves, valve cores in, ready to go, right? So the front with torque caps set at 785 grams. The rear sat at 885 grams for a total of 1,670 grams. 785 front, 885 rear, 1670 overall. So those are your specs, those are your builds, those are your nipples, things like that. Let's get into, I guess now, my subjective reviews. You can kind of tell I'm in a really good mood. So let's get into it. So what am I comparing these against? You have to know something a little bit about me first. You guys are sick and tired of this. I'm 6 foot, 210 pounds. I ride in the SoCal high desert, good, hard, aggressive mountain bike, a lot of pedally rides. I'm on the bike sometimes 3 hours during the day, 3 hours ride, 21 miles long ride, 14 miles short ride. Usually try to hang in there about the 17, 18 mile mark, somewhere there. Good old fashioned mountain biking. I ride nothing but hardtails. So you're going to hear me constantly talk about harshness, damping, trail buzz, things like that. If you came here to hear about how laterally stiff they are, I'm probably not your guy. Okay, I'm probably not your guy because I don't stralt berms, I don't do whips and land sideways and see if I can break the rear. None of that. So I'm really focused on, like I say, damping qualities and ride feel, especially on the hardtail of my 56-year-old body. Okay, so that's what I'm here for. So let's get after it. So the wheels that I'm comparing these to were my previous ones right here, which are my benchmarks. And those are my DT Swiss XM 1700 alloy wheel set, which to me are fan-freaking-tastic. These had big shoes to fill. I thought about how do I say this. So I'm gonna say it with my hands and kind of like I guess a puppet show. So if the DT Swiss XM 1700 alloy wheel set, my before these benchmark, let's say those are here and those are awesome in terms of harshness and feel. The carbon DT Swiss XMC 1501s that I couldn't stand because they were way too harsh, video is linked at the end of this one, they would be down here. That distance, let's call that distance 6 lizard tails, 6 Newton mile meters, 6 universes, I don't care what it, but let's call that 6, okay? So there's the benchmark. Those harsh things down here, all right, we're 6 below. So this set right here is a full 2.5 to 3 lizard tails, inches, whatever we're using, above what used to be my current benchmark. These have taken the, you're gonna hear it, the damping, the anti-buzz, the damping quality, the wooden quality, the dead quality that I look for. They have taken it to a completely second level that I didn't know could be there. It's absolutely fantastic. In layman's terms, it feels like I have taken a half a PSI out of my tires. I probably should have led with this. For this wheel set, for all the wheel sets we're talking in question, the DT Swiss XMC 1501s I couldn't stand, my old reference that are hanging there, and these all had the exact same tires, which are Specialized Ground Control Grid T7 29 by 235 front and rear. They all have the exact same pressure. I am that crazy guy who will check pressures, 21 in the front, 24 in the back. I use a good old analog gauge here, only goes 30 PSI, so it's really granular. If you haven't used one of these type analog gauges, you will be stunned at how much you have to do to just get even a half PSI out of these tires. So again, in layman's terms, it feels like I've reduced and taken a half a PSI out of these tires. It feels like possibly like it rained last night and the trail's soft, but yet my rolling speed's still good. It's done something to another level. I've got 5 rides just at 90 miles on them. So I've got quite a few hours spent pedaling, and it is absolutely as good as I hoped for. I never dreamed. I just wanted it to be as good. Honestly, I just wanted it to be as good as that set up there. I thought, you know what? If they're just as good as that, everything is cool. I didn't really get these for any other reason than, again, that freaking upgrade worm that just drills into my head. Been doing it for about a year. Had a great opportunity at a great price. I pulled the trigger, did it. Coming out of the box. Only disappointment was the tape. Whoever taped them needs to go back to taping class or be retrained, because the The taping job was not very good. It was a couple bubbles here or there, which I guess I could live with, but DT Swiss is absolutely perfect. When I do it, it's absolutely perfect. Whoever did this, you could tell they're kind of just rushing to get it out. The lip of the tape was kind of up, so I had to use a little thin cut piece of Gorilla tape to tape that end down so Sealant wouldn't get in there. Kind of annoying. That was the only issue with the build quality. Boxed up real nice. Lateral and radial true, right on the money. I did not check spoke tension. I refuse to. Did not check it at all. That's not my job. So again, laterally perfectly true, radially true. I did put the torque caps on. So torque caps on here, and I went with a 54 tooth ratchet. I'm really happy with the 36. I thought I'd try the 54. It wasn't as big as a difference as I thought it would be on the trail, so I'm still lukewarm on the 54 tooth because my riding style, where I ride, doesn't really lend to it. And when I spin this wheel here, it takes a little bit longer it stops spinning quicker with the 54 teeth ratchet in than it does at 36. Naturally, I mean, there's higher engagement, has more drag, right? So I'm still kind of going through that. I'm gonna let him break in here another few hundred miles before I make my ultimate decision, but I might go back to the 36. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much where we are sitting. The DT Swiss XM 1501s carbons, they were so unbelievably harsh, it made every ride less fun. Again, video at the end of this. I couldn't not want to say get rid of them fast enough. I gave them about a 7-month try, but when I finally decided I am done and over it, these, as harsh as those were to my benchmark, again, are just as surprising as these are supple. There's another word, supple. The DT Swiss XMC, they had a real thick rim. They were 26 millimeters deep. These are 19 millimeters deep. So these are a much flatter profile. So is it the layup themselves of the carbon? I myself, this is just a guess, I think it has to do with these being much skinnier and only being 19 millimeters compared to 26. I mean, that's 7 millimeters. And I mean, Sophie, my daughter, fast forward 5 seconds. I mean, 7 millimeters is a lot, or so my wife always says, right? So anyway, 7 millimeters is probably kind of a big deal. And I think that contributed to that DT Swiss carbon wheel set's harshness that I was feeling. Again, just a personal opinion. I have no science on that. Whatever Reserve did, I almost said Santa Cruz, whatever Reserve did here, they're fantastic, man. They're light enough for trail use. Again, 210 pounds. They are supple. Yeah, everything is as good as I would hope. So I guess that kind of lends you into just what I think about this wheel set. I'm in a really good mood because I'm on a 3 upgrade win streak. After quite a losing streak, man. I had a losing streak of about, I don't know, 4 out of 6 where they weren't even side grades. They were downgrades. You know, you get a new component, it's supposed to be an upgrade, right? And these things were downgrades. I mean, looking at you, Shimano XTR 9120 brakes. Good freaking riddance. That's just one. So my 3 components, win streak. Well, number 1's my brand new Rockshox Pike Ultimate, Charger 3.1. And now this wheel set here, and another video coming up. As stupid as it's gonna sound, are these Peaty's Monarch Knurl extra large, or I guess call them thick grips. Holy hell, are those things comfortable? I'm gonna do a video on grips because I'm so blown away by these grips and how comfortable they are. So I'm riding high. I'm 3 for my last 3, which means I'm probably due for an 0 for 3 coming up. But as I sit here making the video and gonna finish wrapping up here, I don't see anything else that's got an upgrade, you know, driving an upgrade wormhole in my brain. I honestly don't. I'm looking at it as we stand, and I think I'm pretty well done for a while. I've seen some spy shots of some brand new Shimano brakes, so I think Shimano, about time. It's been, what, about 5 years, 4 years? These been out. This style has been out. So it's time for Shimano. If they release a new brake, I will probably be an early adopter and go with that. But other than that, guys, gals, we are here. So Anyway, if you have any questions, if I missed something, I always watch these videos back and I always think, gosh darn it, why didn't I say that? But I'm pretty happy with how this went. I got the specs out. I got my feelings out. Again, supple, muted, damped, wooden, dead to the track. Some of that sounds awful, right? If I said any of those things about like a brake, you'd be like, ugh. But those are all compliments. And the fact that my previous benchmark wheels are hanging up here on the wall and not over here on Old Greenie, because I still ride Old Greenie, that's a huge compliment, because those are going to stay there because I do ride Old Greenie. And if something ever happens to these, I want to be able to go back to those other wheels and not have a bunch of unnecessary miles on them. So that's a compliment that those are still hanging there. So we'll finish up here with the pros and the cons. The cons, number one, simply the price. They are outrageous. The price is the biggest con. I'm not going to harp too much on that because everybody's budget is different. The con is the price. Two would be the tape job. Come on, do a better tape job. Finish that thing up. Tape it like DT Swiss does. The pros, the ride quality, unbelievable. The weight, I think the weight is nice. The fact that the rims are going to stay true pretty much forever, nice. And I haven't even touched on, we'll finish up on that Santa Cruz / Reserve lifetime warranty. None of that if you break a rim, we're going to send you out a rim and you got to, of course, rebuild it with spokes and your own hub and here you go, right? None of that stuff. If I break either one of these rims, front or back, break a rim tomorrow, right? 5 years, doesn't matter. They're going to send me out a brand new wheel ready to mount up on the tire and a bike, hub, spokes, all built, ready to go. And it's Santa Cruz / Reserve. It's their legendary warranty and how they've treated me since 2018. It's how they treated me over the bikes. Yes, I shouldn't have had the problems I had. I agree. But it's, again, I kind of live my life on, it's not the mistakes you make, man. It's your reaction and how you fix and how you own up to that mistake. And Santa Cruz did. And so I rewarded them with another thank you of, here we go. And they rewarded me with a badass, nice quality, awesome riding wheel set. I can't say enough in the terms of the of how it rides. So there you go, guys, gals. That's a 17-minute and 10-second video on a wheel set. So there you go. I hope you liked it. I stayed back in my lane, got the message, and we'll be doing another video here on the grips coming up, and I got some other things planned. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see ya.